Hello, and welcome to another Let's Play. This time we're playing Beyond Citadel, the bigger, better, gorier, even freakier sequel to the Citadel. This one was actually just released earlier this year, January 6th of 2025, I believe. Though it's been in development for quite some time. I believe it had a demo version out there. But the full version of the game has just recently been unleashed onto the world. Beyond Citadel is a heavily beefed up version of what was present in the Citadel, for better and for worse. We could dive in on some of the preferences here, but let's just begin our quest. To my knowledge, Beyond Citadel has no New Game Plus function like the Citadel does. So, your only options are to continue your ongoing quest, or start again from the beginning. Obviously, it would be a bit hard to understand the game if we started from the middle, so we're going to be starting from the beginning, deleting all my data, and getting underway. Let's go. There was once a kingdom of 10 billion people. Demons led by 7 Trumpeters descended from the sky and destroyed the civilization of humankind. The sea withered and the land was decayed. More than 9 billion, close to 10 billion, I don't feel like really the number, were slaughtered. The mass center of the star was shifted and the sun no longer rose or set. There were those who sided with the oppressed people. Angels appeared from the depths of the severed lands and guided the survivors to the Twilight Realm, land where humans could survive. The angels built, and unfortunately, the text went too fast for me to read it there, but if you're a faster reader than I am, you probably saw it. Over here, we get the face of someone who looks familiar. If you move the WASD keys, you can sort of just thrash in place, but what you really need to do is hit the spacebar key. Little bit of a zoom out there. She is still taking quite the nap, although seems to be a bit of a restless sleeper. Perhaps she can manage to just force herself awake. And there we go. The Martyr has returned, with even less clothing this time. She's looking no worse for the wear, considering her WMD-related death at the end of the previous game. Fascinating. I wonder if we're going to get an explanation for that. And we get our tutorial for the game. Obviously, WASD movement. Looks like we came out of some sort of chamber, and we've got these blue butterflies flittering around. Alright, move our way to this door, and we find our helmet. This, once again, returns our HUD to us, and as you can see, things look a little bit different. On the right there is our extra lives. We get 1 extra life to start with. The way respawning in this game works a little bit differently than it did in the Citadel, so we'll go over that when we get to it. In the bottom left, we now get to see the Martyr just looking over her surroundings in true Doom or Wolfenstein fashion. And you can see what outfit she is wearing there, or lack thereof. We have a health gauge, we have our stamina gauge, and a food gauge like we did in the previous game. As you can see, the food gauge will just be decreasing over time, lowering our other upper limits. The blood bags, the O2 cylinders, and food, they have been moved to the function keys in order to use them now, for reasons we'll be getting into very shortly. Over here, we pick up our first blessing of the game, double jump. Not technically something we start with, but we pick it up immediately anyway, so there's not much degree of difference. We can use left shift to sprint, see our hands going forward. We can climb ladders. Ladders function a bit more regularly in this game than they did in the Citadel, so that actually is important to know. Like the previous game, you can look down and see your own body. Are we supposed to have a tattoo that tells us how much health we have left? Whatever. We have a gauge on the screen anyway. The Citadel, or Beyond Citadel, has swimming, which the Citadel did not. When you are submerged in water, your oxygen will rapidly decrease. Obviously, if it runs out, you start taking health damage. You move pretty quickly through the water, and you just need to press space to rapidly ascend and hop on out. Over here, we've got a little bit of platforming. You can use a sprint jump to clear most of this, but since we're in tutorial mode, let's just do everything the intended way. Over here, we have our first gun, a 44 Auto Mega Class Magnum. This one has a little scope on it with a red dot to allow you to better line up your shots. It can hold 10 bullets plus 1 in the chamber, and it is quite weak, but we're not really going to be doing too much with this. Over here, we've got the ancient scriptures of how to shoot. So, gunplay in Beyond Citadel, bit more complicated. So we're going to be using the default gunplay settings, which is unload, load, and cock. Need to cock after loading a magazine. Also, quick reload will consume a spare magazine. Using low condition weapons will cause malfunctions. This option can be changed anytime via the pause menu if you want to change up your preferences. And indeed, let's go over some of the preferences that we can set here. Obviously, we have our difficulty settings. Like the previous game, there is a diegetic choice for setting your difficulty, so I'm not going to go over this too much right now. We've got our graphic preferences here, which there's a couple things I want to highlight here. First off, the gore settings. For some of you out there, you may want to turn this off. Let's just say the gore settings in this game, compared to the already pretty lovingly detailed ones in the previous game, kind of go over the top. We've also got less bouncing debris, which we won't be doing. Now, this one's interesting. Nudity image gallery. This one's a little misleading. You might be getting a little apprehensive about that. There is no hard nudity in this game. However, there are two sets of image galleries. When you have nudity showing, it shows, shall we say, far more suggestive pictures than if you have it hiding, where instead it mostly loads the image gallery with conceptual art. We'll be going with over the image gallery in a bit. Over here, the other big relevant settings is, of course, the gameplay preferences. We got our bullet spread options, arcade or tactical. We'll just keep it at arcade. Gunplay, unload, load, and cock. This also enables the weapon jamming function that was optional in the Citadel, but is enabled by default in this game. We'll be keeping it on because it keeps things interesting. Like the Citadel, I like to keep my sprint function to toggle because that makes it easier to perform slides, which are actually a much more important maneuver in this game. Let's see. Dizziness during blood bag use, definitely keep that off. I don't need more things to make me disoriented when playing, and there isn't really anything else to note here, except for aim button to cock. In my opinion, you want this on. It makes it a lot easier to use the gun cocking function. Anyway, with that all established, we're actually not going to be going over most of that immediately, but note that we just got a bunch of 44 auto mags here. Beyond Citadel, many weapons actually require that you're holding spare magazines, so let's just empty the gun here, and then take out our magazine. The Martyr will slide it into her auto-loader pack, and you can just pop in a fresh magazine with the R key. You can get some more explanation on how these controls work here. As you can see, X to reload, R to actually load the new magazine, C to cock. For weapons with chambered bullets, you only have to cock them if you empty the chamber. So let's empty out the auto mag completely. We got to load in a new mag, and then we either have to press the C key or we can just press the aim key in order to cock it to load the chamber. So keep that in mind for guns like this. Not every gun needs this kind of chambering thing to go, but most of them do. Over here, we've got this shooting range. If you use this, it'll reset the targets. Obviously, we haven't shot down any targets. Let's just go about that right now. Show this off. Like most shooters, if you're crouching, it reduces weapon sway and makes recoil easier to manage. There are other ways to deal with that. Anyways, there's nothing obvious to do here otherwise, so let's actually step onto the shooting range, and as you can see, there's a little vent here that we can crouch and enter. You can also slide into it if you want to, but we'll be seeing plenty more slides as we go through the game. That magnum is taken away from us, so we just have to kick our way through this vent right here. Hey, who's this fellow? So, you decided to drop to the earth once again. I won't stop you, Martyr. To be honest, I want you to stay here because you fulfilled your mandate. You don't need to live a harsh life down there anymore. However, if the truth you seek lies under the soil of that planet, I also want you to follow your desire, even if the signal sent to you was a trap. Don't worry, everything will be alright. I'll be waiting for your return here. A new ally, Eska. Bit of an enigmatic fellow, but he does seem to have the Martyr's best interests at heart. However, the Martyr seems to have set a new mandate for herself. Something that's very easy to miss over here is this text. Opening connection to Beta 4523, UNS Edelweiss, private access terminal, port 1912128. Let's see, transmitted by instance of 256, 512 IND, combined mobile fleets, UNS Edelweiss, United Nations Forces. Message to all UNS Edelweiss terminals. Unauthorized access to the internal cryogenic chamber of UNS Edelweiss from outside before 52 cycles. Access was blocked after 12 cycles. No electronic contamination of the vessel was observed. Access appears to have been made to Divine Object 919, hereafter referred to as 0919. which is stored in the cryogenic chamber. Information blocking off the compartment in question is in progress. Information blocking complete. Start tracing. Traceback of unauthorized access complete. Location blah blah blah. Proposal execution of memory rollback for 0919 with possible information contamination under consideration. Proposal accepted. Execute memory rollback. Subject. Noticing some typos here. 0919, or is that 0919? Information contamination scan confirmed and or performed, complete. Elimination of location by precision bombardment of the ship's main gun under consideration. Proposal rejected due to the undetermined threat of the location in question. Detoxify the information transmitted to 0919. Partially fix it on 019 and drop it in the area under consideration. Proposal accepted. Implementation. Dosing 0919 with toxic information. Non-toxic information. Dosing complete. Execution, activation of 0919. 0919 activation process. Activation completed. A little log here. So, it seems we're aboard some kind of ship. Anyways, like I said, we've got our diegetic difficulty choice here. Way of Faith, a difficulty for new players to the FPS genre. Way of Devotion, which is the standard difficulty. And the Way of the Zealot, a difficulty for a player familiar with the FPS genre. I am not super familiar with the FPS genre, but I am familiar with this game, so we're of course taking the hardest setting. This setting does get quite brutal by the end of the game, so expect a lot of deaths by the end. And we get our prologue, the Purified Land. Note that most levels in Beyond Citadel do not get cute little names like they did in the Citadel, so that's a little disappointing, but we do still have names for our acts. Here lies machines that became angels not by birth, but by deed. They became shields for people and rest here with the corpses of God. Fascinating, fascinating. Let's move on this way. One thing you will want to note in Beyond Citadel right away is that areas are way, way bigger than they were in the Citadel. So running out of stamina is a very real possibility. I hardly ever ran out of stamina in the Citadel. Here we get our first real weapon, the Cavalry Carbine. It is a bolt-action rifle, can hold 10 bullets in its magazine, plus, well, I don't know if magazine's the accurate term, but it can hold 10 bullets, plus one in the chamber. Let's see, and there's just the weapon controls again. Now, let's make our way out onto the scorched surface of the Earth. This is indeed the Earth, although it looks more like the surface of the moon at this point. Hey! This is Sister Atla, the medium. There is nothing left, traveler. Everything burnt into ashes. Only sand survived the purification. If you still decide to go ahead, please be careful. Let's see. So long, traveler. We will be heading along, Atla. And once we drop down here, our title comes in, and this is more of a proper title screen than the one we had at the intro. We are entering Beyond Citadel. Let's start moving along, and we will immediately find ourselves faced with threats as we head out into the scorched surface of the Earth. We got these giant spider-like creatures here, and they can be pretty nasty. Do not mess around with them. You want to get a nice, clean shot on their center there to just completely decimate them. Let's take them out, and remember that there are several around us. Keep your eye on your mini-map to make sure that you're keeping track of anything. Curiously, they seem to be holding some gold pieces. Some interesting statues in the sand here. Oh, did not hit him. Enemies on the Way of the Zealot. Ooh, that guy snuck up on me. Ooh, they can spit fire at you. As you can see, when you get hit, you get a little bloodied. I want to take in the environment here, but these guys make it a little difficult. Looks like we got buried tanks, and yeah, that's all there is to it. Now, one thing to note is that when you're in critical health, it is possible for a small bit of it to regenerate, but that is not something that's really happening to us here, so we're going to have to find some way to recover ourselves, hopefully. Over here, this is our blessings menu. Yeah, nice picture there. But you can disable the upgrades that you get throughout the game if you so want to. This is also a means to keep track of them. But yeah, there is the option to disable things and make the game more difficult for yourself if you find it is a little too easy. Which, a lot of the upgrades in this game do make it quite a bit easier. However, I'm going to be playing a pretty casual run of the game. The Sanctuary. So I'll likely just be playing with all stuff enabled. If only we could find a way to recover our HP. There's a few things to note in the Sanctuary here. Over this way. Huh. I wonder what the imagery involving these things is. Looks like a store dress mannequin. Doesn't have anything on it though, so unfortunately we're going to have to stick with what the game calls the skin suit, but I like to call it the underwear outfit. I don't think I have to elaborate on too hard on why I call it that. Hey, another person. Who are you? I missed you, sis. I feared you would never wake up again since you were so deeply asleep. And thank you again for doing me a favor. I wish we could spend more time here, but we can't. We are running out of time. In brief, we need to gather 7 separated artifacts that once belonged to us, and never let them have them. Never let them complete the artifact by their hands. I'm sorry to make you do this. It had to be done by my hand. I had no choice but to rely on you. You are not alone. You will see many friends again soon. Please go. We will meet again soon. 2. I'm waiting. Huh. This guy doesn't seem to have any arms or legs, but this is Alulu, and apparently he's the Martyr's brother. Over here, we get our first blood bags. This will allow us to recover our HP. We've got some food here, which we'll immediately eat to recover a little bit, then use up our blood bag. Blood bags do have a drawback in Beyond Citadel. They consume some of your food gauge to use, so spamming out blood bags will result in your food gauge decreasing, which means the upper limit for healing you can get from blood bags will also decrease correspondingly. With that, once again, we can drop down and enter our first level. The Sanctuary is located in the ruins of the Purified Citadel. Remarkably intact, considering how the Citadel was handled in the last game. Act 1, The Landing. And we get our first real level of the game, plus our emergency weapon of the game, the Forgiver. Like the previous game, it is just there to conserve some ammo. It actually burns through your stamina quite quickly. Over here, we've got the blobby xenomorphs here, who have been redesigned slightly to resemble what I like to think looks like Mara from Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Over here, we get another blood bag, and our tutorial on the supplies. Again, all these are functionally identical to how they worked in the Citadel, so not super necessary to go over if you played the previous game. We're going to stick to the carbine, because these guys on Zealot mode can absolutely torpedo your health at the speed of Mach 1, so I wouldn't recommend engaging them in melee, especially because our stamina runs out so quickly at this stage of the game. We will have means for correcting that, though. Going through this area, we've got a couple things we need to find. We need to find keys for the doors. So, keys on the area, or on the map, are just marked with that little key icon, and here we get the key of Black Diamond. Like, the Citadel, every level that has keycards can potentially have up to 3, although not every level will have 3 keycards, and they come in different patterns. The key of Black Diamond is one of them. There are no just simple green keys. Here we have a first aid box. If you pop this open, it will drop out a bunch of blood bonuses to recover you. Keep your eyes peeled for any of these throughout levels. They come in super, super handy. Looks like we need another key here. Looks like there's a golden triangle panel on that, or a pattern on that one. Be very careful entering this room. We've got spiders camped out in these little alleyways. We want to just back up, fire off a shot to attract them, and oh god, oh god, oh god, I got stuck there. Ooh, ow, whoa, 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 whoa. Like I said, you die fast on Zealot mode, so be careful. What did I even back up into? Must have just hit that corner there. Oh well, not a big deal. There's a couple of these guys still just hanging out here, but we can defeat them relatively easily. Just poke out and shoot. Oh, I said shoot. There we go. Now, in these little catacorners, we find food bonuses. These provide +1 to our food gauge, but unlike the Citadel, they also provide a little bit of healing, so they're a lot more useful to pick up in this game. Always keep your eyes peeled for food bonuses. Super handy. Look, we're no worse for the wear after picking all those up. Get the key of the gold triangle there. Let's keep our carbine fully loaded. Fortunately, we can make our way around quite a few of the spiders here. We don't have to fight every single one of them. Get our blood bags there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did not land that shot super cleanly. Fortunately, we're past the spiders, which also means we're past the worst of the things that we can fight in this little first level. We got some of these xenomorph guys over here. I keep forgetting to cock my gun. Alright, and let's, ooh. Yeah, be careful. The bites come out quickly from those things when they actually catch up to you. There we go. Nothing too bad there. Make our way over here, pop these guys, and we are getting close to the end of the level. That little stairs icon represents the end of the level. Oh. There we go. Almost let my bullets run out there. Okay, let's make our way down here and get into the first proper level of the game. Alright, Zone Industria is dominated by the first Trumpeter, Argandia, the Demon of Purity. Instead of having individual names for each level in the game, instead they're called zones, like we're watching a gory version of Sonic the Hedgehog or something, and they do not get the cutesy little names, is the point I'm trying to make there. I think I accidentally turned on the weapon tutorial displays, and that's bugging me. Let me see here. Weapon tutorial, okay, there we go. That was bugging me. Let's get that out of here. Over here, we get a rock and track here, and we get our choice of 2 guns. We can pick the 44 Auto Magnum, or we can pick the Snub-Nose Revolver. We already saw the 44 in action, so let's pick the Snub-Nose. You can only hold one type of the same kind of weapon. The 44 and the Snub-Nose are both considered your number 2 Magnum slot, so you cannot have both of them. And these guys are actually able to be spoken to. Different shapes mean different purposes. Different functions require different handling. Learn how to make good use of their capabilities. The Snub-Nose is a very, very slow firing Magnum that packs a lot of power. However, it is loaded with a cylinder, and if you need to reload it, it'll eject any bullets remaining in it. So if you have, let's say, 3 bullets in it, you will not retain those 3 bullets if you reload it. It also comes with speed loaders, which are just ways, once it's empty, to quickly reload it. Each of them will aid you in your quest in their own ways. They are only faithful when you understand their characteristics. I think I understand these weapons pretty well. Let's see here, just some more weapon tutorials over here. Let's see, X to extract the magazine. Many weapons also have an alt fire. The Snub-Nose uniquely has a melee strike. It has a little hatchet you can use with it. Let's see here. You can change the firing mode with V, which I don't think this one has one, but the auto does. And then over here, we got the fast reloads. This just goes over our spare magazines or our speed loaders. If you do not have any magazines, then a lot of guns need their bullets individually loaded. Alright, let's be careful going out here, because we've got our first real enemy. Ooh, and they landed a clean shot on me. Fortunately, we're going to be getting plenty of blood bags in this level. When you kill people, like the previous game, they explode into a shower of gore, and the effects, well, we're going to be getting up close and personal with quite a few people eventually, so you will see, you will see. Ooh, man, getting absolutely shot up here. Fortunately, we have got an excess of blood bags here, so we can just use one and then pick up that one. Let's use that food there to get our gauges restored. Attention, blood bags allow immediate replenishment of lost blood, but they also consume your vitality. When used, be aware of the loss of vitality and use food if necessary. Now, you can only hold 5, let's see there. Did I, oh hey, I can take the speed loader back. That was actually a slight mistake that I made there. We'll go over that, but when I hit R to just reload the thing, and I forgot I had speed loaders, when you do a quick reload just by mashing R, the magazine or speed loader will be tossed, and it can be destroyed. We will have ways to mitigate that later. Over here, alt fire with the middle mouse button. I've already gone over this. Many weapons use either grenades or energy cells for alternative fires. We don't have either of those at this point. Over here, we've got the medium and the martyr. Interesting picture. Anyway, moving on. Every level has, every main level, I should say, so it's marked 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, and 1-4. All acts have these zones 1 through 4, plus a prologue and a boss level. The zones 1 through 4 will have an archive file that unlocks an image for the image gallery. Over here, we've got acolytes. Like the previous game, they can approach you with maces to try and bludgeon you, but they also have their hammers that they throw, so be mindful of that. We'll pop that switch there and open up a... Whoa, hey! They must have been camping out behind the door there. Whoop. Uh-oh. Out of ammo there. And I accidentally tossed the speed loader again. I keep forgetting that I have those. Alright. Get a few magnum bullets from them. Hey. Nah, they're dead. People in this game can potentially survive your shots on them, so be mindful of them. We don't need to go this way, but there's some goodies for us to pick up if we do. Hit them, and then hit them. There we go. Clean headshots. Obviously, you always want to go for headshots. That is a very consistent and reliable way to take out enemies. Okay, moving over this way. We just want to step up here. Always be mindful of your mini-map. We got somebody camping out over there, so we just want to hit him with a nice clean headshot. This one will come around the corner. Oh, that did not go well. Oh, dear. Let's get this in. Okay, I think you have to use the speed loaders with R. I don't use the Snub-Nose very much, so I don't remember how it works, but we get some grenades here. You can use the G key to throw grenades, and you can cook them by holding it to make them explode faster. You can also throw back enemy grenades with the F key. Something handy to keep in mind, though I don't usually use it. I don't really want to risk having my hand blown up trying to throw back an enemy grenade. I usually just go for cover when a grenade gets tossed at me. Many more enemies in this game can use grenades than the Grenadiers from the previous game, though the Grenadiers still exist. You can see some soldiers over there. There's another one that we get with a nice clean headshot. We're gonna have to be doing some distance shooting here, so it's a good idea to get our carbine out. Over here, the cryo chamber. Once a cryo chamber is activated, an extra life will be added. When the Martyr dies, the extra life will be consumed and the replacement will take over the mission. So, yeah, the Martyr just has backups waiting right here. She might get, well, not cold is the word to say it, but I don't want to leave her exposed to the elements, so we'll just close that back up. But yes, cryo chambers are the new checkpoints, and you get an extra life every time you activate one, so you want to keep your eyes peeled for them. Unlike the Citadel, though, you do not need to have a checkpoint activated in order to utilize your extra lives. If you die in the middle of a level, you'll be kicked back to the start with an extra life consumed, and with all your progress taken care of, so you don't have to worry about redoing the whole level if you die before activating a checkpoint. Something that came up a couple times when I was playing the Citadel. Alright, let's take our shots here. Okay. And we got one more over there I can see on the mini-map. So, once again, we can take our shots. Headshots are very important to be landing in Zealot mode. The enemies are quite resilient here. Ooh. Let's take some cover. Where are they? Oh, they're moving around the box. Enemies aren't stupid, and they'll look to take the vantage points. Yeesh. Okay, moving over this way. Oh, ooh. Got some more people drawn over here. Oop. Did not actually cock the gun. Always remember to cock your gun. And we got to activate this switch over here to open that door, but also there's something important here. Hey, looks so cute. What is this? This is the virtue screen. In every level, a virtue upgrade is hidden, and this allows you to permanently upgrade your attributes. I'm not going to go over all these stats all at once, but I will go over the ones that I plan on boosting over the course of this video. The first one I want to boost is Gluttony. For every point of Gluttony, we can hold 5 more blood bags, foods, and oxygen cylinders. Very helpful, especially once we start running into the supply vendor of this game. So let's get some more blood bags. Now we can hold 7, get an extra food there. We're looking pretty good. We're full on magnum ammo, so we do not need that. With that taken care of, we can get into the last stretch of this level. Let's crouch, and instead of being careless, let's make sure we have a good vantage point for shooting. Sometimes enemies can be quite generous with the blood bonuses they drop, so it doesn't matter if you get tagged with a shot. Hey, who's this? Ah, our Martyr has awakened and began her journey to fulfill her mandate again. The rumor was true. Soon our Lord will hear this joyful tiding, and we can be your assist on your quest. Please proceed. Let our path be the light. This is Sister Kyrie. I pray for your safety. Godspeed. Looks like she's got a little something attached to her back there. Wonder if she needs that, or I wonder if it's not even there by choice. Each zone has 4 regular levels, and each regular level has 1 archive and 1 fragment of virtue, which will enhance the Martyr status. Loading screen tips obviously will give you tips on the game every once in a while, but they also contain story information every now and again, so be sure to read them. Fortunately, there is a way to review them that comes up later in the game. Zone 1-2, and this is probably the shortest level in the game, so let's get to work on here. We've got acolytes to deal with. Now, as you probably noticed, the gore effects in this game are pretty over the top. So, real quick, I just want to show that if you find these to be a little too disquieting, you can turn them off. So let's turn off the gore here. The people we've already killed, they're just going to be in their, you know, unfortunate state. Over here, we get the Storm Rifle. This is our first automatic rifle of the game, and it's a pretty accurate and reliable one. But you definitely want to be crouching while using it. So, let's get out into here, move our way over to the next level, and see what it looks like when we kill people without the gore enabled. As you can see, they just get reduced to smoke, so you don't even have to deal with lingering bodies. Kind of gives the impression that we're just dealing with people made of random black boxes. Hello. Yeah, the muzzle kick on this gun can be pretty pronounced if you're not crouching, so definitely make sure you're crouching. I feel like taking out the gore kind of takes away from the intended experience of this game, so we're gonna leave it on. What that says about me, I don't know, but I like to present games in their most unaltered format, so we're going to be keeping the really disquieting gore effects on. Kind of makes the game stand out, doesn't it? Okay, not exactly for good reasons, but, you know, it stands out. Alright, I think I actually passed something that I wanted to collect over here. Whoops, keep going. We want to go into here. And, well, hello there, lady. Huh. We finally met somebody who shares the Martyr's fashion sense, I see. This is Sister Chloe, the arms dealer. She is our weapons vendor for the game. We do not have a singular weapons vendor. Tycho was the only one cool enough to, or singular items vendor. Tycho was the only one cool enough to sell everything to us in the game. Each virtue has a powerful feature in its own way. However, I would recommend that you raise one or two of the wrath virtues first. That is the stat that determines our recoil and weapon sway. More wrath means less recoil. Justice without force is powerless, you know. Well, that's your choice. Did you find the sacred iron I left in the next room? Make good use of it. Next time, I'll take your money. And yes, guns in this game are referred to as sacred irons. But Sister Chloe sells everything that we found up to this point, plus some alternate weapons. We've got the Misericorde and the Karambit, which is actually a dual-wielded set of knives. I might check these out later, but melee weapons are quite useless on Zealot mode, so I would not recommend going for them. Every vendor in the game also sells ammunition, if you need to top off your reserves. We also can collect throwing knives that can be used as the alternative fire for melee weapons, though they are quite useless and are more of a gimmick option. Now, I find Sister Chloe's design to be really funny, because she's just a 2D sprite constantly facing forward no matter what, so despite having such a rear-end focused design, you cannot actually really see it. Anyway, the virtue that I want to be working on for the rest of this act, and indeed it's the first one I plan to max, is Lust. This determines the number of max lives we can carry, with max Lust meaning we can hold 20 lives altogether. But the other thing it affects is armor condition. That's going to come up in the next level, so it's not immediately useful, but I want to get that maxed out as soon as possible on Zealot mode. It is super helpful to have good armor condition. Note that when you slap a mag into your autoloader, if there are no bullets, it will not load, so it's just going to be chilling there. We don't have enough ammo to keep our storm rifle completely topped off. I will definitely want to increase Wrath soon enough, as muzzle jump is quite a problem at this stage of the game, and it makes it really hard to kill enemies consistently with guns like the storm rifle. There's a grenadier, and oof, they almost took me out right there. Grenades deal serious damage if you happen to be standing right on top of them, so be mindful of where they're coming from. Fortunately, grenadiers, regardless of where you shoot them, happen to blow up in this game, doing damage to everyone surrounding them. Over here, we have an easy-to-miss thing. Also, we got some acolytes coming in over there, and some mechanical enemies. Mechanical enemies are worth keeping in mind here. They drop repair bonuses, which will come in handy later, as well as armor shards, which armor works quite a bit differently in Beyond Citadel compared to how it worked in the Citadel, which I will go over once we get a full set of armor. Let's just take them out here. There we go. And make our way up here. Very easy to miss archival image here. Make sure you stop up here. Some of these are on the way, but some of them can be pretty deviously hidden. Yeesh. Looks like some serious body modification is going on here. That's what a blessing looks like? Man, who'd have thought learning how to double jump involves so much body horror. Alright, let's just move past everyone here. I could open up that first aid box, but my health is maxed out, and it would go over my food limit, so it wouldn't really be worth it. We can still lean, just like we did in the Citadel, so it's an important thing to do if you want to take people out. Ah, here we go. Somebody who is left alive. Don't look at me like that. Yeah, people can sometimes just be left to bleed out on the floor. You can choose to finish them off, or you can choose to just let them go. But one thing to note is that some enemies who are bleeding out won't go quietly. Keep that in mind. With that taken care of, we've gotten everything this level. We're at the end. Time to move on to Zone 1-3. The fighting actions performed by the Martyr with their sacred irons are rituals that free people from hardship and suffering. I'll take your word for that, game. And with that, we enter Zone 1-3. But I think think that is a good place to call it for this video. Levels in Beyond Citadel, well, it's not super indicative from the starting point, but they are quite a bit lengthier than they were in the Citadel, and I won't be able to tackle every act in a single video without creating multi-hour marathons most of the time. Well, okay, over an hour marathons, but I don't want to bombard people with too much of the Citadel, with Beyond Citadel. I feel like it might be best to take this game in pieces, so let's just call it a video here, and when we come back, we will be taking on Zone 1-3. As always, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, though, goodbye.
I don't dispute the doubts you've outlined, but it's my right to waste your time.